Hello and welcome back, my wonderful ladies, to my channel. If you're new here, I am Jax, and this is my channel where I share our journey through infertility, IVF adoption, and now science-based parenting. If that sounds like your jam, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below to join the journey. Today, I am going to be explaining to you what SART data is, how it can be helpful to you, and then how to navigate their website. Let's jump in. So I have spent a lot of time digging through SART data, and when I went to go find resources on how to actually interpret and understand the data, I did not find them. So I'm really hoping to provide that kind of clarity to you so you can use these reports and actually get useful information out of them. So from the very beginning, what is SART? SART stands for the Society of Assisted Reproductive Technologies, and they are the foremost leader on monitoring and reporting on fertility treatments. Every accredited fertility clinic has to report their IVF data to SART. That's part of being accredited by SART, is reporting your data. What does that look like? That means every cycle that starts with the intention of egg collection gets reported all the way through live birth to SART. This is the single largest collection of data around what factors influence a successful IVF cycle. And more importantly, you can input your characteristics into the filters so that you can see how other women fared when they went all the way from egg collection to pregnancy. I find this really helpful and satisfying and much more comforting than just the generic statistics, because I know those don't apply to my situation. But I also found that SART doesn't do a very good job of explaining what their results mean. So I'm actually going to switch over to their website so you can watch me navigate and understand what I mean. But very first, let's talk about what success means in the eyes of SART. Every SART reported cycle starts with an egg retrieval, and the results of that can either be a canceled cycle or a successful egg retrieval. After that, if there's no transfer within a year, that is also considered a failed cycle. Obviously, that doesn't actually mean that there was a failure of that IVF cycle, but it just isn't considered in this set of data. Eventually, they have to have a cap of what they, closing off the data for a given year. And so they can't wait around for people like me who are waiting 2 years to transfer their embryos. So if there's no transfer within a year, that is also considered a failure. Or this could also mean that there were no embryos viable to transfer. Going down the chart, you have your first transfer, which could have a live birth or not. This could be failed, this could be miscarriage. If it doesn't end in a live birth, then you move down the chart again and you do additional transfers. While SART monitors and reports on the number of transfers that it takes to achieve a live birth, it doesn't consider those failures. It adds those to the success column, if you will, no matter how many transfers it takes. But it does differentiate so you can see how many transfers it took to get those results. It also is worth noting that they wait until there is a live birth, not just a positive pregnancy test. That means SART data is delayed by 2 years, and they keep it updating throughout those 2 years, but it takes 2 years for things to finalize. So 2017 is the latest year that you can get that is finalized, and 2018 is just finishing up their reporting and will be finalized sometime next year. All right, let's finally jump into the site so you can see what it looks like to navigate around. While there is a lot of helpful information on this site, we're going to be focusing just on the IVF statistics and data, but feel free to poke around and find other information. We're going to check out the 2017 National Summary, and it takes you to something like this. At the top is the summary of all of the cycles that are included in this report. It's almost 250,000 cycles were reported in 2017. So again, this is some of the best data that you're going to be able to get. Up at the top are the two important tabs of whether or not you're using your own eggs or donor eggs. Before we dive into the filters, let's just understand what the basic chart looks like. The very first one is a patient using their own eggs, and it summarizes the success after all of the transfers that they were able to complete within the designated time frame for this summary. A singleton birth is considered the goal of all fertility treatments, and it's what SART considers a success as well. So you can see that of the patients that are under 35 years old that embarked on an IVF cycle, During 2017, almost half of them were successful and had singleton births that year, and 55% of them had live births. There's a breakdown of singleton versus twin versus triplet or more down below. Right below that is the cryopreservation rate. This is the percentage of initiated cycles that allowed women to freeze embryos after the cycle for that egg retrieval. So 81% of people under 35 had success on their first IVF cycle. It also gives you the number of transfers that were needed to achieve a live birth. And the next line down gives indication of why it takes less cycles for the older patients is because they are also transferring more embryos. But if you look down at the implantation rate, which is the rate of pregnancies per embryo that's transferred, you can see why we transfer more as people get older, because that implantation rate goes down. So even this alone, without any filtering, I think is so eye-opening and is something that every patient should be shown before they start IVF, so they actually know the odds for even just their age group. Below that, it breaks down the number of live births for the first transfer, as well as the second or later transfers. Going back up to the top, we can hit the filter. This is where you can change the report based on your diagnosis, cycle type, and other filters, usually around processes done within the IVF cycle. You can see though that you could get very specific with your type of infertility, as well as whether you do a minimal stimulation, a natural cycle, or a conventional cycle, and use things like ICSI or PGT or even something like a gestational carrier. So just as an example, let's look at both male and female factors and apply that filter to the data set. You can see that around 34,000 cycles were flagged as a dual factor cycle. So you can see in this case that having dual factor infertility actually doesn't decrease your chances of a successful transfer. It only dropped it about 1%, which is encouraging to know that IVF usually works and works about the same rate as average for people with dual factor. Again, you can look below to see the results of singleton, twin, and triplet births, as well as very preterm, and term birth. Some diagnoses obviously do have impacts on the pregnancy, and it's good to be able to see those differences play out in the reporting. I hope that was helpful in at least giving you a resource to be more informed about your IVF cycle and the chances of success. I feel like a lot of numbers get thrown around and some very high numbers get thrown around that aren't really accurate. They're achievable in certain cases, but not really accurate. So again, my channel has always been here to equip you with knowledge and the ability to make informed decisions. So I think this is just a vital tool for anyone looking at IVF. I'll leave the link down to the SART site down below. If you have specific questions, go ahead and leave those in the comments. But otherwise, I just hope this was helpful in exposing you to a tool if you've never seen it and explaining it so you can use it effectively. All right, until next time, ladies, keep fighting.